Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon. This is Indy Comics Explained. Yet again, I brought in another fantastic group of independent comic book creators. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. And listen, this week, for some reason, the broadcast is just upended. You know what I'm saying? So we brought on two pros to help me, man the show. And the first one up,
Hey,
Mr. Randy.
to change my name to JD Zimmerman, right?
Here you go.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, I'm Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work over at arrowcomics.store. I've done a lot of different things. Most recently is the Shadow Kingdom, which you can find over there. The few copies that are left are available over at arrowcomics.store, but also thanks to Critical Blast, we're also available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And if your local bookstore has the Ingram ordering system, we are available there in a lot of different and great formats. So go over there and check it out. It's an adaptation of a Robert E. Howard story that's in public domain. First story with Cull and Brule in it. And it's a great, great story. And we faithfully adapted it here in this book. And we're using that story as a springboard for other adventures that we'll be calling the Atlantean. And that'll be available for campaigns here, hopefully by the end of the week. So next week, that is. And we'll see you there. That'll be available over at fundmycomic.com.
All right, cool. And I can back that up. It's a very good book. Thank you.
It's a lot of fun.
So, Marvin?
Marvin.
Please introduce yourself.
Marvin Wynn. I'm here because I guess JD's not here on time. So again. Marvin Wynn, writer and creator of The Edge from Comicsburg. Yeah, why is he late? Where's he at?
Who knows?
He got lost in traffic between the kitchen and his living room.
No, he's saying he's having problems with his Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Oh, Wi-Fi. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure you spelled that right? Could be wife. No?
Right. Could be. All right. Dan, how you doing? Please introduce
yourself. Guys. Hey, I am the writer and creator of Stained Glass Comics. I am under Starcross Comics publication with the infamous Joe Spicer.
Nice.
Infamous.
How you doing, Michael? Please introduce yourself.
Hey, how's everyone doing? I'm Michael Fitzgerald Troy. I'm a YouTuber and a cartoonist. My YouTube channel is Michael Fitztroy TV. I edited the Big Big Bang anthology that came out last year, or this year, kind of. This Carrie Callan cover is amazing. The next 80s obscure property I'm going for is The Elementals, which just funded on Kickstarter, but the campaign is still going till October 3rd, so I'm really excited about that.
Cool. Yeah.
Very nice. Justin, how you doing? Please introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Justin Koch. I write comics, specifically The Edge of Darkness and SWAT right now. Other titles are like Department of God, Baby Gun. I have a bunch of stuff going. So my website's Koch Comics, COKEcomics.com. I started it 2 days ago, so it's a little crude, but there's a chance for you to sign up and get some free comics and then some scripts for various things, in case you're a weird freak that likes to read comic scripts.
Gotcha. How you doing, Jason? Like I said, it's been a minute, man.
It has been. I've crawled back out of my self-imposed exile making my latest comic book, so I'm back out talking to other esteemed comic book creators. So I'm really happy to be back with you, JD. And I do know Randy. He is one of my favorite people to catch on these things. I always love seeing his comic book bunker. It always looks incredibly exciting. And I want to know what else is in there, right?
Well, because I have that sheet up there. That's all.
Yeah, there's comics.
You don't see the real mess.
It's great. So I've been making comic books for the last 12 years. I've done 9 of them. And I've got my latest one on Kickstarter now, Lords of the Cosmos 5. So I've been working on that book for about 2 years. So it's all done. And we're just raising funds to go get it printed. It's fully funded. And we're playing with stretch goals now. So that's where I'm at.
Cool. Very nice. Very nice. Good looking book. All right, gentlemen, let's start it. So, we all saw the show title. And this is individual. So, I'm interested not as an overall for the entire industry, but, how are digital comics affecting you and your product? Like, you know, what you're producing as far as, you know, the material you're producing. Like, how do you feel is it having any impact on you? Do you see it having any impact on you? Are you interested in it? Are you utilizing it? So on and so forth. Jason, you're up.
So I think there's a twofold question there. So my mind is still always going to be wired to make actual books, kind of like a band that's used to making albums. And it causes me no pain to create a PDF based on the pages that go to print. And in fact, I would say I always am open to selling PDFs because there's no cost. There's no printing, there's no shipping. They're easy to take care of. On the other hand, what I'm not interested in doing, and I've had a couple people ask me, is, you know, do you want to make your comic a web comic or publish it like a page a week or something of that nature? And I really have no interest in doing that. And it just could be because I'm used to reading floppies and trades for so long that I have no interest in doing that. So I'm not going to change what I'm doing to format a more digital distribution model, although there are a couple web comics that I really like, and one that I've been reading for years is called Oglaf, OGLAF, which is always incredibly well done. So to me, I don't want to change what I'm doing, but it causes me nothing but extra sales just to have a PDF. So I have a foot in the digital world, and then I have a foot that's specifically not in the digital world because I still like the format of a book. And my books are usually larger 40-plus page books, so I kind of enjoy that format. I'll probably never change, and I'll go kicking and screaming saying, give me my king-size comic books. So there's my take, JD.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Dan, what are your thoughts?
Well, right now I'm waiting for my book to come out. But with the idea of a web comic, you know, listen, I can get a web comic out there. People are going to see it. I don't get a whole lot unless there's a subscription model or somebody's paying to go to the page. So that doesn't really help. Now, for a long time, I went on web comics and I was reading. I like that format. It's like an e-reader. I enjoy that part of it. But for me, I just always grew up on paper and ink. You know, I'm flipping pages. I enjoy that. Especially if you're reading something big, like Justin. You said that you had 44-page books. You know, I may not read all that in one setting. I might read 10, 15 pages here and wait. Then I'm going to come back and read it again. If it's a online story, it may take a little bit to get back to it. To me, I find that a little annoying. But I mean, there's a lot of new technology. I got an artist who makes my pages move, animate, and stuff. I can't do that. Some of you guys are both writers and artists. I'm just a writer. So,
I'd say Justin.
To have that web comic, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't help me out, but I don't hate it either.
All right, fair enough. Michael, how do you feel it's affecting you, if it is at all?
I think it's mostly just like a courtesy to offer a digital version of your comic book, because I mean, no one I know, no experience I've ever had on a digital platform has ever been like, lucrative in any way, shape, or form. I just think that, but it should, I don't know, arguably, I guess if they would have caught on, or if they were going to catch on, they would have caught on by now. And it's such a strange thing because digital comic books do look beautiful. I mean, if you read digital comics, they do look nice, but I just don't think people care enough to buy them. And one of the worst things about it is like, I don't think it's smart to charge the same amount for a digital comic as it is for an individual floppy. If Marvel sold all their new issues for like 99 cents each, I think people would buy them like they used to buy like or what are they, iTunes or whatever, you know what I mean? So I don't know, but I think it's, like I said, it's a good courtesy to have because they do look nice, and it might help a Kickstarter. I mean, some people have definitely opted to buy the PDF rather than buy the whole book as just a show of support. So that's definitely good for that as well. And it's also good for sharing with, you know, people and stuff like that. But as far as monetarily, I don't think it's worth it. I mean, it's just people just don't care.
Fair enough. Justin, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, you might as well, because you already made it. I mean, you're basically just selling the thing you already made, right? So if it gets you a little bit extra money, they get to drop $6 or $7 on it. They don't have to pay for shipping, and you get $6 without any production costs that you haven't already incurred. So, you know, I think, I mean, you know, 15 years ago, they were all worried the Kindle was going to kill print. And it just, I mean, it's there. I mean, they still, you know, it's still there, but books are selling, you know, physical books are doing just as well as they ever have, really. You know, so people want to have the art in hand. And I mean, I don't think, however nice your screen is, it's just not the same thing. Maybe that's an old person thing to say, but it's just not. So I think it'll be around, you know. I kind of feel like I think people are going to, just in a general cultural sense, are probably going to be looking to get away from the internet more and more, because I haven't heard anyone say anything nice about the internet in 10 years, right? Everyone hates all of it. At least that's what they say. So I definitely enjoy my life a lot more now that I turned it off a lot more than I used to. I mean, I'm not going Amish, but I'm thinking neo-Amish, you know? Like...
All right, hold on, Justin. JC, you got something to add to that?
Yeah, I wanted to raise my hand. Something that Justin kind of spurred in my mind is that, you know, there was a couple pretty high-profile digital platforms, and there was one that I remember I ran into at New York Comic Con in 2012, and there were some pretty high-profile artists behind it, and it kind of crashed and burned pretty publicly a few years ago, and I can't think of the name of it. And then Comixology, you know, was kind of rocking and rolling, and also had a pretty bad public flame out. So I do think that, you know, that, and I can't think of the other one. I'll have to look it up while you guys are talking. But when you've had some pretty high profile, failures for like a digital model, it definitely, I think, starts to hurt the idea that, hey, you guys, you better stop doing print and you better just do digital. Because it's failed twice, and I'm going to go look up that other one that failed. So I'm going to go do some research while y'all talk.
All right, cool. Jay, I don't know if you heard the question. And before you answer it, please introduce yourself.
Oh, all right. What's up, everybody? I am JD Rosario from Unstoppable Comics. Been making comic books since before there were digital books, right? And before there was crowdfunding. So I'm here just to share a little bit with everybody, have fun, and have a good time, and talk about what we're doing.
Yeah. The demoted one.
Demoted one, yes.
But
I've officially reached the age where the equivalent of not knowing how to set a VCR. You know what I mean? The Wi-Fi, once the Wi-Fi goes down, I'm scrambling. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why is the computer not turning on? You know, why is it not video? Oh, because I forgot to push the slide bar to the left to start the camera. You know, it just, one thing goes wrong and I go into panic mode. But when it comes to the digital indie market,
yes.
I know ICV2 does not record digital sales anymore in their state. It doesn't make an impact on. Yet webtoons, in 2019 were saying they were making $900 million a year. I don't know where this disconnect is between them and us. I got no problem using digital books. It's out there. Whatever, people are pirating them. There's no such thing as passive income, but you're gonna put it out there, and it's gonna happen. There'll be sales eventually. It'll never replace regular comic books that we hold in our hands, whether it's on a tablet or not. There's something about that newsprint that it's not coming together with it. But I fear that companies like Distillery, which are promoting the digital collectible, which is just another phrase for the NFT, is like all of you guys are saying, it's getting it wrong, right? Every year at New York Comic Con, I'm always getting emails prior to it. Oh, we'd like to have a meeting with you. We're putting together the next Netflix of comics. Yeah, okay, no problem. Come on by. I'll listen to your spiel. I won't give you any of the books for free. We got to put together a licensing deal, and they never want to do that. They're never going to figure it out. They're not. Unfortunately, the generation that does read digital comics, I know for me, they're not reading my books. I don't know about all of you guys. So I have no need to be on Webtoons. Sorry, I'm scrambling with this answer. I'm all over the place on it. I'm just throwing out bits and burbs in here. Did I touch on anything special? I don't know. That's all I got right
now. Marvin, what are your thoughts?
Wait, what was the question? No. I was kidding. I think and what we're looking at here is that the only thing that we're getting from that is saving on shipping. So generally, the only time I'm selling digital comics is somewhat internationally. So I mean, it's not really taking a bite out of anything. In most cases, people even internationally still want to get physical books, but what ends up happening is when I contact them, let them know how much it's going to cost to ship, they get waivers a little bit because I feel bad having someone spend $50-$60 and not getting $50-$60 worth of stuff. So in that instance, digital is a little better, but until we figure out how we can print overseas, then I mean it's really the only viable option to it. So I mean, in other cases, that is anyone else, like when they sell a physical, do you give digital for free?
I do. And I'm sorry, one more thing I do add to the digital is I put the layout pages and the pencils. I pad it. Mm-hmm. Right, so it's not just the book. You see the creation of the book, and sometimes we'll add.
So you're doing behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, so Jay, let me ask, how much are you selling your books for?
The books go for $5 a pop.
Okay.
Digital.
Yeah, the digital $3 a pop.
So I mean, but that goes into another range. So when you look at like the video game market, when they sell digital, it's the same price as the physical. Even though you don't have to print, you don't have to ship, there's no case or anything else that's built with it. So why in the comic market do we sell digital copies lower than physical?
I don't pass on the savings. Right? I mean, like you asked, do I tack it on to the physical book? I do. Mm-hmm. Right? So if you're not getting the physical and you only want the digital, should you get a discount? Yeah, okay. Right? If my margin is 98% on a digital book, why not just toss it in there?
I agree with that. So, but then do you have the book on any of the platforms?
I do. I got it on 2 platforms right now.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen, hold on. This is like,
I'm sorry.
It's a round table. It's not it's not a conversation between 2 guys. Randy, what's your thoughts on
it? Conversation. I was listening.
Yeah, he was listening. Don't be jealous.
Yeah. All I know is I've got digital copies for sale up on aerocomics.store. We sell them for $3 a pop, where we sell the physicals for $5. And we've gotten a couple, not a lot, but a couple. But the War of the Worlds book that I did for Caliber, that they've got it all over the place, Amazon and Barnes and Noble and all that. The last couple of quarters, I've gotten royalties more for the digital end of it than the physical. So in my mind, I think anybody who's buying a digital book is buying it to read it. which means that there's a reader out there who might be too poor to buy a physical or doesn't want to put it on a bookshelf or whatever. But if they're spending money on it, they're actually going to look at it and they're actually going to read it. And to me, that's a good thing. I like readers as a little bit more than collectors until my book hits $100, on Slabbed or whatever. Then maybe my mind will change. But we've got a couple other books coming up on at the Arrow Comics store that aren't going to be available for a while physically because the print-on-demand costs are just unbelievable in my mind and outrageous. And the cost of paper needs to come down a little bit, and these guys need to calm down a little. And it's not going to be worth it to me your per unit price doesn't justify a cost. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you go after print on demand. So I'm either going to have to collect it into a large book and make it worth their money, or those POD costs are going to have to come down a little bit before that happens. Or we need to figure out a separate format that's a little bit more dispensable, cheaper newsprint or whatever, in order to keep the costs lower, in my opinion.
Paper.
If you have to,
Yeah.
Sometimes they were. Look at manga and Shonen Jump. A lot of that material is just incredibly, pretty much on the level of toilet paper, the worst newsprint they could possibly find, and all of that. There are other formats out there that need to be explored, I think. But in the meantime, if I make money off of a digital file, I'll make money off of a digital file. And right now, like I said, I've got a couple other books that are going up on the store that I kind of got stuck with our bad deal that needs to be, they're just sitting in my computer. I might as well finish them off and put them up there, if only as digital files, just to see if anybody wants to read them. So, and that the market's always changing. You're always going to see a sea change, and how that affects the indies is how the indies are able to utilize it, to their advantage. And you're going to have to take a little play and see what's going to work and what's not going to work. But well, we can get into it on another, this might be a one-sided conversation at this point, but I think they stumbled when they started the format for digital, and everybody's been stumbling over their own feet trying to get the thing to make money, because retailers cried that Marvel and DC has to charge the same price for a digital file as they do for a regular physical comic, or the retailers are going to get upset. Well, the retailers don't pay the indies very much, not a whole lot of mind, at least until they realize they can make money on them. And then you've got a couple of retailers out there that are indie minded. But in the meantime, we're here to play. We're here to try to make a living. We're here to try to get readers. That's my opinion.
All right, fair enough. Well, we got this guy here, George Peter Gatsis. I don't know who this gentleman is, but he's saying without any merit to our statement. So, I mean, let me clarify.
Well, why are you watching? There's no merit. Get the fuck out.
Right. But the thing is, though, is he's talking about Critical Blast is rocking. And Critical Blast is rocking. He's doing a great job. He's also saying something about he ships worldwide, and the cost is negligible. That's bullshit, because you obviously don't know what's going on.
Majorly.
Right.
Yeah. I ship worldwide too.
Yeah, so do I.
No.
And the thing is that, what I charge worldwide for somebody to go to the EU, they could pick up an entire, for 2 books, they could pick up 18 books digitally from me, right? Equivalent. For $45, I give away almost 1,200 pages worth of material. My ultimate PDF file, thing that I give away. And it's $45, and I get tons of people who order this thing, So, yeah. Oh, look at, okay. Then he also has the temerity to say, "You don't know what you're talking about." Period. That's nice, George. I will make you the offer. It's not today, but you can come on my show and we can discuss it. All right. Just remember that.
You don't have the experience or the knowledge of
knowledge.
I love that.
That's pretty funny. I've run 40 campaigns. I've literally made tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, and so it's just about everybody else on this panel. So I don't know where you're getting this from. So
well, we've got Shadow Kingdom with Critical Blast right now. They're doing an awesome job.
Exactly.
It's really a new product for them,
Right.
and we're seeing what they can do.
Well,
Absolutely, there's a lot of
I mean,
possibilities there.
real quick. I mean, and I sent you guys in the chat. It was Made Fire. That was the other company I thought of. I used to work with Comixology, and the platform is a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind having digital PDFs for backers or readers, but I have no interest in playing with these current digital platforms. So I mean, I don't I'm not sure what there's no merit in that. The large digital platforms haven't done very well. So I'm not going to knock someone that wants to do it, but I found it to be onerous to even try to work with the platform. So I guess I don't know anything, but thank you very much.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know this guy's. He's saying he's been publishing for 34 years, which is cool. Which is
He's not here in the panel. He's not here. There's people here who are doing good work. They're spending time with us.
Yeah.
Let's give the time to the people who are here in the panel, as opposed to somebody who is trying to reach out and grab some.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, we will move on. So Randy, do you have a question?
The question I would ask is how you see the viability of those other platforms like Global Comics or Drive-Through Comics. Way back when, I used to deal with Wowio, if you remember that company, before Platinum came in and stomped all over them. And I was making a really decent amount of, it wasn't livable money, but it was good per unit cost money, running digital files on Wowio. That was really good until Platinum came in and kind of screwed up their entire deal. I wish there was another platform out there like Wowio that was doing those kind of numbers. That's because I would make digital files for them all day, and eventually I would end up making a living at it, no doubt. But how do you feel about Global Comics and Drive-Through Comics? We know Comixology's gone. Is there anything else out there that's viable, especially for the indie market?
Fair enough.
I mean, there's a new one, and I'll drop it into the private chat. It's Comics One. Like I've been doing stuff with. Well, I did my first issue through their platform, and I'm probably going to set up to do more with them. But I mean, just saying before is that how long does something have to be around before it's considered viable? Because once you eliminate Comixology, like does Global Comics get the crown because they're the only one standing, really?
Hard to say. Drive-Through Comics, I think, is still around. They've been around.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Drive-Through. Yeah,
but Global's pretty impressive. The last time I was over there, they look pretty good.
All right, cool. Let's start from Dan. Dan, please answer. What are your thoughts?
I really have only gone on to a few web comics, a few digital things. It's just not really been how I've enjoyed comics. So, I don't know if I've got a lot to say on that. I know for me, I'm thinking, if we wanted to get our stuff on digitally and we want to make any kind of money, my question, we might revisit this and after this, is what about ads? Something that relates to our audience, something that if they're going to go to a webtoon, one of our things are online. Hey, there's a short ad between the page breaks. I don't know, maybe charge 50 cents a view, 20 cents a view. If you're getting it, may help recoup and maybe it'll get us some money back. I don't know. Maybe we can revisit that question.
All right, cool. Michael, what are your thoughts?
I don't, I just don't care enough about digital comics to put so much effort into it. It's like where I feel like most of the people here are in comics for the physical copy. It's like you get really excited when you have your books delivered and you get to hold them in your hand and look through them. Like you just can't replicate that. I did have a thought on something, but for example, a lot of people I know, and I don't know if you guys have ever tried this, but have sort of previewed or put out your comic book through Instagram first before going to print. And the friends I know that have done that, I've avoided their Instagram accounts because I don't want it spoiled for me and I want the physical copy. So I don't know. I guess it depends on how much effort you want to put into it. If this is the hill you want to die on, if it's that important to you, because, you know, that, I guess that's the question, is it because there's not a good enough format for it, or there's just not enough interest? Like, if a company came along and really did it right, would it still, you know what I mean? Like, just look at comics in general as such a niche market, you know what I mean? It's like Marvel makes the biggest movies in history, blockbusters, and it doesn't really help comic sales that much. So, you know, I think this is a rung below that ladder that, you know, in a way.
All right, fair enough. Justin, what are your thoughts?
Like with those, like Comics One, can anybody with a comic sign up and just sell there?
Yes.
Or is it okay?
Yeah. He said that he's also working on a crowdfunding piece in that too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to test his new app on iOS. So
I kind of honestly forgot what the question was.
How do you feel about other platforms like Drive-Thru Comics and Global Comics?
I'm too ignorant to have an opinion worth sharing, so I'm still feeling this stuff out. That would be my response.
That's an honest answer, man.
yeah,
It is. Jason, what are your thoughts on it?
One of my really good friends from college, Rick, was at Kiss's final tour in New York City. And I'm going somewhere with this. And the big ending of Kiss's concert was promoting that they're going to be doing tours forever as like virtual reality tours with, NFTs, VR, whatever, right? And he was telling me about it. And he said, I didn't really understand it. And I said, what didn't you understand? And he said, well, the people such as myself that were north of 50 that would be into going to see Kiss and work Kiss's audience, he goes, I just want to go to concerts. He goes, so my daughter's like 16 or 17 or whatever she was at the time. And he said, she's of the right age to understand the technology, but she has no interest in Kiss. So he said, I don't understand who the hell this is for. And I think comic books are kind of in the same boat. They're like, I think the biggest problem comics have with digital is like my kids are 7 Jesus Christ, 9 and 12. Man, the short change of 2 years, 9 and 12. They're really not that interested in comic books. They like Fortnite, which is like this pop culture blender fighting game, if you don't know what it is. And my younger son's into the Doctor Doom add-ons, and I'm like, do you want to look at some old Fantastic Fours with Doctor Doom? He goes, no, I like to see him on Fortnite. So it's like the people that would be more open to digital options, they're already getting it, but they're getting Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four on Fortnite, not through comics. So I think kind of to Michael's point, which I thought was really hit the nail on the head, if you're into this stuff, it's already niche, and it's like niche. And like I said, I don't mind pumping out PDFs because I've already done the work. But to do additional work for a digital, like kind of a digital phantom that may yield some, Netflix of comic books, I don't think we have the audience that cares enough to do that. And I think the people that are spending money and want to, they want to go read Randy's comic about Cull, they're not my kids. So, you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of the quandary. And I think Michael really hit the nail on the head, which reminded me of that story with my buddy with Kiss, where he said, who the hell is this for? And I felt my friend with Kiss was right on, because I don't know anyone that would go to a Kiss concert that's like, oh, I want to go to like a virtual concert. They want to go to a concert. So it's kind of like, when people on this panel are saying, I like paper, I like to smell ink, I like to hold it in my hand. No different than saying, I'll go see a band, but I want to go to a venue and I want to hear the music live. I don't want to VR. So I think it's almost, do I mind doing digital? Nope. I'm not going to do any extra work for it. But I'm okay with it if it exists in the confines of the work I'm already doing. So, and to Marvin's point, sure, if it's great for international, whatever, but I'm not doing extra work to make a PDF for those people.
All right, fair enough. Marvin, what are your thoughts? Oh, no, Jay, I'm sorry. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I want to tack on what Jason was saying, with the Fortnite thing, because My nephew sees the Galactus back there, right? And he knows Galactus. He knows Galactus because of the Fortnite game, right? They're ready to spend 99 cents for a new skin on the Fortnite game, and they can play as that character, untold amount of hours. But the $3 book is not going to give them, the $3 digital is not going to give them the same enjoyment, right? And we got to ask, who is this for anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're I'm looking at the entire panel. None of us are spring chickens. I mean, I'm not trying to knock any of us, right? We're all in the same boat.
I'm just barely past middle age. I don't know what you're talking about.
and just to let you know, I'm not even a chicken.
There you are.
Well, there you go.
But it's like, here we're talking about global, we're talking about one, we're talking about drive-through. And it's catering to the niche of the niche of the niche, right? Yet right now, Amazon and Walmart combined are on pace to capture 25% of the American dollar by 2020. Right? And it's like, where are we Sisyphus? Right? Are we pushing up, not just pushing the ball up the hill, pushing it up the wrong hill?
Fair enough.
But I mean, if you look at it that way, so you're talking about the Fortnite thing. So now you're more in the modes of motion comics. And I feel like those are grabbers, but I mean, you're going to have to put more money into it to make that motion comic. And the thing that you brought up yesterday about the make a comic and people will buy it on Amazon thing.
Oh, like that post that I sent you guys.
Yeah,
I was like,
that doesn't make any sense. Nobody's chasing digital comics on Amazon, especially not from an independent. I'm pretty sure that Comixology is selling Marvel, DC, and things, and Image, but no one's chasing that. So is it where what Daphne says, just give it away? Do you just give it away as marketing? I'm marketing my digital comic to get you to buy the next issue or to buy it physically.
It's going to sound like a joke, but I'm not popular enough to even get bootlegged, pirated. I mean, I see that as a marker of status, right? I mean, It's getting out there.
Right. I mean, but then, so somebody brought up that global comics is growing. Don't they allow, don't they give options to distribute your books from your Kickstarters and things?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea. But
I thought someone told me that they do fulfillment for digital comics through your Kickstarters. Does anybody use global comics?
I am not sure at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Anybody in the chat know that answer?
I know drive-through will help you do fulfillment in total. So I don't know if it's just digital, but they will do print also.
Yeah, I mean, look, just to jump in before we all got sidetracked by the other guy. But here's the thing: is like from my own personal experience, I just ran a campaign, and about 52% of my backers was all digital.
Good.
And I raised probably 40% of the funds was all digital.
But you didn't do extra work for that. You just used your existing print files and you made a PDF, right? So I mean,
exactly.
you did no real extra work outside of just
right. And that's what I'm saying. It's a very powerful thing to use because you get to use it. And here's the thing, like this has been reoccurring. Like I said, I just ran my 40th campaign, and this has probably been going on for the last 15 campaigns. So, half the campaign is digital, and I'm raising almost a third of my money is coming from digital. And when you break down the numbers, especially when you're doing POD, I'm charging 2 books, $10 for digital. Okay. I'm charging 2 books physical, $20 plus $10 shipping, so it's $30. $10 for shipping, so we can knock that off. Kickstarter takes, let's say it's less than 10%, it's about 8.5, something like that. But let's say 10% to make the math easy, right? So you get $27 back. Like I said, $10 gets knocked off for shipping, so you end up with $17. Costs you about $6, $7 just to print the books. What are you left with? $10. The same amount of money I just made on 2 digital books, which is crazy.
Yeah, but I think we're talking about 2 different things. I think if you're just not adding on digital stuff as like an add-on, that's foolish. I mean, if you don't want to do it, that's foolish. But I think the other question is like to get heavily involved with some of these digital platforms. And like I said, when Comixology was normal, I could just upload a PDF and it was good to go. Right. And then the last time I tried to put a book on there, it was onerous and it was screwing it up and it was really difficult. And I'm like, this is actually more like I'm putting in too much work to this. And I was like, I'm done. And that's right around when everyone was like, this is awful. It's awful for the readers. It's awful to use it. So like I said, to me, this is 2 different questions, which is cool. But like I said, I think PDFs for the books you're already doing, rock out. You know what I mean? Who cares? It's only benefiting you. But to try to work heavily with these digital platforms, I think that's just a waste of time.
Oh, yeah. On that end, I agree with you.
Yeah.
If you want to do like web comics and just do web comics and expect them to, that's some of the stories like Daphne is a little bit more in tune with that. And she's told me stories about some of these people like who are getting paid by Webtoons to do the comics, right? So they're actual paid by the platform and they have to produce the equivalent. I believe she told me it was 12 pages a week.
Ooh.
Right. And, that's a lot of work. Like that's Jack Kirby level work, and not everybody could do that. And that's why you end up, if you look at a lot of their comics, a lot of them are headshots. They're just talking head comics, right? So, I remember going to Barnes and Nobles and picking up one of the books that was printed and you start flipping through and there's little headshots. It's all headshots. So it's a little weird for me. So, yeah. But, I mean, listen, if you can make a living out of it, I guess, right? Randy, answer your own question, sir.
I thought I did, but I've looked at global comics and I've had books available at Drive-Thru Comics, and it's just another avenue that everybody needs to look at and explore. And like you said, it's a PDF file. It takes 2 more hits to do a web-friendly one. You don't want to get your DPI too high, and just put it up there and offer it for sale. If it makes money, it makes money. And I know I've made as much, if not more money selling digital on Amazon than I have selling physical the last year or so off of that War of the Worlds volume. So that's what I think. I think you always have to go out there and look at your options, and you always have to keep your eyes open for the next format. If we follow the trends, we're all going to be hardback for $13 and look like we were drawn by a 5th grader. Yeah. There you go. Like Dav Pilkey's books.
Listen, those books are cute though.
They are incredible. They're very intelligent, and I understand how he sells. It just amazes me that the art level is where it's at. I wish it was a little bit better.
Right.
Well, a lot better.
Yeah.
But hey, you can't knock a book that I pointed this out before. The Cool Cats Comic Club, I think, has done more to gain a comic reading audience among the youth than what Marvel and DC have done in the last 10 years.
Yes.
So good on you.
Millions upon millions.
Yeah.
Of units. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Let's do this. All right.
Hey.
Dan, this is all you. Do you want me to play this video?
Oh, if you would.
Yes.
Here you go. All right, let's go.
So
Video. Nice video.
Yeah.
so would you buy a webcomic that looked like that?
I thought that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
No, right? This is my promo video. That's video 1. Video 2 is kind of like what I was talking about earlier. I got permissions from one of my favorite metal bands to use their music in the promotional.
Nice.
And a lot of my audience is the same as his audience or their audience. And, what if a webtoon like that had an ad, whether it was for this record label or something else that kind of shared that same. And I hope to be able to save on some costs. Again, when I'm just a writer, I'm not an artist. Books are expensive, it's $3,000 or so or upwards. And, again, that's just to get 27 to 30 pages out.
All right, so Dan, tell us about your story. What's going on with stained glass?
Okay, my elevator. In a world where the good doesn't always win, you have a spiritual warfare that's going on for the sake of the city. So it's a great book. I've been dreaming about it 20 years. That character right there is showing that front page. FC Fabul, he drew it. Federico colored it. They also did the very first page, which isn't shown there. But yeah, it's a lot of use of color, of light. My interior artist, I've had Luke Stone and Patrick Gamma drawing. And again, I love their artwork. I love how they're able to take what I'm doing. Now, if you scroll up just a little bit, where the black and whites, scroll up to the black and whites. Okay, there's 3 pages. This comic is not yet completed. Those are 3 consecutive pages I have going into it that have yet to be colored. So I got about 20 pages left that have to be completed of this 27-page comic. It's exciting. These guys that I have working on this have really made this dream really, really take shape.
All right, cool. How many pages is the book going to be, this first issue?
This first issue is 27. The second issue it's at 28, and so is the third. It's right there on 28 pages as well.
Yeah. All right. Cool. How many issues do you think the series is going to be? Is it like a limited series? Are you looking for a long form? You're going to do a longer type story? What are you looking at?
So this first story arc I have planned already. I already have it mapped out. 13 issues. At the end of the 13 issues, that's when we're going to be going to, those who are still alive are going to continue on. But yeah, I've got 13 that have already been mapped out. The first 4 have already been completely written, and just have to be drawn.
All right, cool. Yeah, man. Looks where you at? All right, you're 536. You got 18 backers. You got 22 days to go. You got a little bit of hustling to do, but
I sure do, and that's one thing. And again, this is incredible. It's going to be different. Like, this isn't going to be your typical Superman, Spider-Man type comic. It's kind of gritty. It's kind of tragic, and it's going to be bringing up some topics that a lot of creators haven't quite hit on. Maybe out of fear, maybe because I don't know. Maybe the stories aren't good. Who knows? No, but seriously, it's got a lot of characters in there that we haven't seen put together. So I'm really excited. If you want to scroll down a little bit, I have my poster. It's got a team picture. Okay, those are my covers. Just a little bit further down. So this is going to be the team. Their dead center is the leader of the team. He is a technocrat. If you take Elon Musk, Richard Branson, Bill Gates, roll all those guys up together and give them superpowers, that's that guy. Dr. Darwin believes humanity's next evolution is to merge with technology, but he has an affinity for the spiritual. So he surrounds himself with entities from different cultures around the world. You got your Navajo skinwalker. You got your Sanjin, who represents the Muslim faith. You have his girl there, second in command, Angel. She's New Age. At the bottom, you have your Jewish golem. Bottom left, Durga. She represents India and the Hindi community. That boy to the left, that is the protagonist named Josh. He is the main character, represents the Christian character. And the top left, he is a star of issue 1. That's Chevy. He is an archangel that has been defeated, deglorified, and absolutely hates humanity. So this is the team that you have. And when you put a bunch of zealots in a room together and tell them, hey, go beat up some bad guys, they tend not to get along too well. So it's going to be incredible. So that last image there, that is the last image of my first book, where Chevy's got his wings ripped off, and he's bleeding out golden light. And so that's how my first comic will end.
All right, cool. All right. It seems like a very interesting premise. Looks cool. Like I said, you got a little bit of hustle to do, but I think you can make it. But you gotta get that working.
Yes, sir.
Looking good though. All right, cool. Let's see. All righty.
Yeah,
Michael, do you want to play the video?
I know it's just me rambling, so I'll just ramble instead. I know. I loved your little intro video. That was awesome. I'm like, this is my first solo Kickstarter campaign, so I'm definitely learning a lot. I know it needs to look a lot better. I kind of launched without even having pictures in this part, so I corrected that. So I'm not a boomer, but I am when it comes to this stuff. So. But this is Elementals. Elementals is one of the coolest independent comic book superhero teams published by Kamiko, the comic book company, one of the coolest indie comic book companies who launched Grendel and Mage, and they had Robotech and Gumby and all kinds of fun books. But I loved Elementals. It was my gateway to indie comics, and created by Bill Willingham, who is well known for Fables. A couple of years ago, he went on my friend Dan Shaheen's YouTube channel and declared the Elementals public domain, and dared somebody to make a book. And so, as Dan puts it, I'm the canary in the coal mine, and I'm putting it's not a relaunch, so it's just like a tribute book. It's an anniversary book. There's tons of old art and new art. I have Bill Willingham is not completely involved, but I do have his blessing, and my friend Dan is working on a new interview with him, so that will be in here. I've gotten a lot of original art from the owners that I've tracked down through that great website, what is it, Comic Art Fans, and they've lend me scans, so there's going to be sort of like an artist edition section. So it's mixing a lot of old and new. There are going to be articles and interviews, tons of pinups from a lot of like really great artists. I have Michelle Fife has a pinup in here. I got an old piece from Craig Hamilton, famous comic book artist. There it is. I colored it. I'm also a colorist and a cartoonist myself. So I have some art in here. I have some stories. There's a couple of like imaginings of like a new direction of the Elementals. My friend Barry Tan did this great like riff on the Super Friends, sort of Alex Toth. So it's kind of just like a big celebration. The format is like really up in the air. I'm still collecting art and working on interviews. My Big Bang collection was a treasury size, but that was printing in China. You have to have 1,000 copies, and unless I have like some big fell swoop finish of this Kickstarter, then I don't think I'll be able to afford to print it that size. But I'm hoping for something a little bigger than standard comic book size, because it really is a lot about the art. I got some color guides from some owners that are cool. So it's very, you know, as an artist myself, it's always been the art for the comics that drew me in. So it's very art focused. Tony Farrow did a new pinup. You know, Tony McMillan, who had his book Attaboy from Mad Cave. There's just a lot of great talent on here. I talked to the original series letterer Bob Pina Haas, who's trying to dig up something for me to include in the book. So it's very much a love letter to the Elementals and Bill Willingham. It's very much for fans like me who are kind of obscure. I'm finding like a lot of people have never heard of them, but the ones who do, if you know, you know. And but I also like, part of my goal with Big Bang was to try to introduce it to a new generation of readers. And I kind of like to do that with this as well, because the Elementals are freaking awesome, and they've been languishing in obscurity for way too long. So I'm happy that this project is hopefully going to happen, unless I get my ass sued off in the next 10 days before the campaign ends.
Let's hope not. Yeah, I mean, this book is awesome. I mean, I've been a Bill Willingham fan forever. So, you know, I have the first 3 issues signed by him. I got them signed by him when I was like 12. So,
wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and it was just like, you know, so I've been following Bill forever, you know, through this Coventry. I had Bill Williams on last weekend, and he was doing a book called, what was it, Blackheart and Valentine, which Bill had written a few years later with it was like a spinoff from his book Pantheon. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, I'm people keep always telling me about Pantheon, and I haven't read it. I sort of didn't really. I think he did a few things that. Well, I mean, I didn't follow him until he got on Fables again, so I kind of missed the boat after he stopped doing Elementals. So I did miss Pantheon, but I should look it up for sure.
Yeah, because he considers it's like the ending of
where he was going with Elementals.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know.
You know,
so I know it went in a really crazy direction. My vision for it is sort of like just like the core of what it is and like how it started and the basic like first story.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm a huge fan. You know, looking forward to this. So everybody, go back it now.
Yeah, I mean, luckily we have funded, but like I said, if the money keeps coming in and I can afford to do a treasury size, I'm going to go for it. So if that, you know, just to take up more room on people's shelves. The treasury are kind of a nightmare to like ship, and they're so huge and clunky, but they just look so beautiful. And you just don't get that in a digital comic. I don't care if you're reading it on a widescreen TV or not, right?
True. This is true. Yep. Yeah, man. Awesome book. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's gonna be great.
Thanks for letting me promote it.
Yeah, no. Listen, man. Like I said, I mean, when I saw it, I was just like, you know, I gotta try to get him in here, you know, because I mean, like I said, I've been a huge fan. I can't even tell you, you know, from Elementals, Coventry, Ironwood, Fables, Pantheon. I forgot the name of the writers group that he was part of. I got the little chat books that they produce. I got a bunch of stuff from the guy. And
yeah, he's very prolific. He's just written like a couple of novels back to back, and like he has some new an article in some magazine that came out.
Yeah, so. and the thing is, I read those too. I got all 3 of them, and I read all 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know, so I would suggest them to anybody, even Jay, who doesn't read. All right, let's bring up the next one. Lords of the Cosmos, Jason.
Yeah, you can just play the video. We put work into it, so I'll let it do its dirty work.
Lords of the Cosmos, unite! The critically acclaimed comic book series by Jason Lenox, Dennis Fallon, and Jason Palmatier returns with issue 5. Welcome back to Planet Aiden, a land where banished Greek gods, undead unicorns, cannibal cyborgs, and a vengeful dominatrix all wage war over a world run by a planet-sized machine. Lords of the Cosmos, issue 5. Featuring 3 mind-bending stories on 44 pages in classic black and white. Heroes are summoned and villains betray one another, forming new dark alliances as the main storyline continues in Enemy of My Enemy. Archvillain Zemba's daily routine of decadence, torture, and sadism is turned upside down in A Day in the Life, when domination and introspection collide. During the First Cosmic War, a group of Lords of the Cosmos commandos go deep behind enemy lines to discover the disciples of Umex's latest plan in Pulse Part 1. Inspired by 1980s favorites like Masters of the Universe, 2000 AD, and Heavy Metal Magazine. Lords of the Cosmos 5 features a variety of unique rewards, including variant covers from Koi Fall, L.C. Freitas, Caesar, and Ignacio Ragnarsson. See why Indy Comics Dispatch says Lords of the Cosmos pulls all the nostalgia strings while managing to also create something new and unique. And Behold the Geek says Lords of the Cosmos is an insane sci-fi fantasy comic that takes no prisoners. Back Lords of the Cosmos issue 5, now on Kickstarter.
Nice.
I had an 80s vibe feel to this, man.
I know, right?
You know, the music in the background. I want to go watch Transformers after this is over. Maybe a little
Yes.
Flash Gordon because of the clouds going on there. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this.
I want to go watch Dirty Pair. Reminds me of a 80s, 90s anime.
Yeah, so if you got all those vibes, like the things that I would compare this to are Thundar the Barbarian, Flash Gordon, Masters of the Universe, and Thundercats is kind of like 4 kind of like really tight influences for this.
Nice.
You know, so I'll give you my quick elevator pitch. It's a 1980s toy and cartoon inspired anthology comic book that takes place in a fantastic world of magic and technology under siege by savage villains where ancient heroes have to return to save the world. And, you know, for people of a certain age, this book's going to feel like Savage Sword of Conan. It's going to feel like 2000 AD, where there's going to be 3 stories in it that are based in the same world with the same collective set of characters. And it's a big book. It's 44 interior pages. And then there's 9 variant covers. And then the back of the book is a toy package that we had a toy sculpted for. And then the inside back cover is like the back of a Transformers or G.I. Joe toy where there's like statistics and information about the toy. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, someone said something.
Oh, I said nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no, I did some of the writing for this book. I did the art in the main story, and then I had 2 really awesome artists, Sasha Chiardo and Luigi Baricelli from Italy, did the other key artwork for the 2 other main stories. So it's the 5th book in the series. I think it's probably going to go about 10 issues by the time it's all said and done. So we're about halfway there. And I really like this book. I've been working on it for about 2 years, and it's been a big one. It's a big campaign. It's fully funded. I have some stretch goals active now, and I got 3 more weeks to go with it. So I'm kind of curious to see how far this issue goes.
Very nice. Very nice. So you already said you got what? You say you're doing 12 issues in total or 10 issues?
I think 10 by the time, like just kind of eyeballing like where the story needs to wrap up at. So this is about the midway point with issue 5.
Got you. Now you're averaging what, about 1 book a year or 1 every other year?
About every other year. I mean,
Every
just
other
with work, family, and everything else to get these things done where I want to see them at.
Mhm.
I have my own kind of internal standard for what I want to see. I think this book took a little bit longer because I went back and did some reformatting and I would say rebuilding on the older issues to bring them up to a better standard where this book was at, because I got better over the years in making them.
Right.
And yeah, so this one probably took a little bit longer than future issues will take, but yeah.
All right, cool. Was that Battle Turtle yours?
Yep. That was one of
Awesome.
my pages there. So we have an origin story for that character that we'll have to work in at some point too.
Nice. So I mean, I see you got like a lot of extra stuff. You got mugs, right?
Yeah.
How did those work out for you? Like, what gave you the idea to get into like mugs and things?
Well, I kind of go back to if it's no more extra work. So I used new artwork that I did because I redid all the covers for the old books, and I basically just took that artwork and I went to Vistaprint, and they can do make on demand mugs. So I kind of always roll back to like, don't do extra work. So like those mugs, for example, it took me like 20 minutes to format all those mugs.
Mm.
So, and then I don't have to buy any. Like, it's just make on demand, and I can have them shipped directly from Vistaprint right to you. So I look at these things as like, how easy can I make it for myself to do it? Right. So even like those gaming pads, like my manufacturer, which is just a lady that lives out on the West Coast, she can just make one and just send it direct. So to me, there's a lot of add-ons, but there's not a lot of extra work.
Right. Gotcha. All right, cool. So this is your toy. Is this 3D printed and then custom painted?
No, and I always think of you with these toys, JD, because I always remember your action figure you showed me years ago, I think in 2012 or 2013 in Reading. So that toy is a custom sculpt off of Barbie, and my friend Erica D builds one toy per issue, and they're custom sculpts. So there's no 3D printing. She has custom clothes, custom weapons. So she's a hand build, one of a kind, and he's going to build a couple more. I think we've sold 2 more in the campaign, so he'll build up to 5 for this campaign.
Cool. That's awesome, man. You got a retailer tier. Nice.
Yep.
T-shirts. Your art book.
Digital books, right? Old back issues, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Always important.
Yep. My old coloring book set from a couple years ago. You get digital or print.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, yeah. Used. All right. Credits. All right, cool. I mean, yeah, man, it looks awesome. Like you said, you're already funded. You got what, another 3 weeks?
Yeah, and the book's done. I got test prints. It's all ready to go. All I got to do is put a print order together and have them ordered, and then get them in and ship them.
Very nice.
So,
Very nice. No, man, it looks awesome, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Like I said, I love your Battle Turtle. Biggest killer.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Look at that. That's incredible looking. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm going to steal that.
Hey, steal away. It means they're popular, right? Steal away.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was reminding me of Dino. Was it Dino Riders?
There's a little Dino Riders flavor in there because one of the characters is a jungle princess that rides around on a raptor. She's over that, so they're different. So part of this is the heroes are starting to get reactivated in this issue. So the main hero, who's a Greek god, fires a living bolt of lightning to summon all of his remaining soldiers from across the universe to face down their enemies one more time. And most of their troops are just kind of like in their little natural habitat. So they're getting summoned in that page by that lightning in the sky. So those are just 2 of the characters in their summoning. Show back up to work, everyone. No more gold bricking.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. Well, you're almost at $6,000. You're 122 backers. You got 20 days left. I mean, you're killing it.
I'm going to keep hustling, brother. I mean, you got to keep the hustle until the very end. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Listen.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, let's see who's up next. Who? Okay. No, I'm trying to all right. We'll.
You're trying to find a new producer. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I probably do. Yeah, I need to fire the producers, what I need to do. Yeah.
You know, I watch Randy's shows at 5 a.m. He doesn't have these problems, buddy. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Marvin, do you want me to play this video?
You can play that video.
Comicsburg. Awesome.
Sir, the Revenant back.
I have played a puppet far too long. First, you will suffer. Then, you will die.
We have to stop him.
Target in range.
When I give the order, storm the building.
We are in position.
Well, well, well. Looks like someone wants to play. No, 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 no! No! Let's play. This isn't just a fight. This is war.
Looks like chaos is coming.
Ooh, nice. Marvin, be honest. That last scene there, that's how you treat your failed artists, right? That's what you do?
Well, yeah. Well, I've only worked with one artist for the last 17 years. So, if there was people before that, maybe that's what happened to them.
That's what happened to them. That's what I figured.
I need that power then. What's up with these banging intro videos? You guys are kicking ass with these videos tonight. I gotta step my game up, man. Shit.
If you're going to do it, you might as well just do it right.
Yeah, no, I get it. This looks like what was that video game that you sent me the other day? That the animation was just maybe a frame or two more than what you had here, man.
Yeah. For the Phantom game.
Yeah. Oh, so Marvin, did you do the video, or did you have someone do it for you?
No, I am that guy that pays people who know how to do things to do things.
Gotcha.
I might have been able to do something like that, but it's taking 2 years. But
Gotcha.
Yeah. Know that feeling. So Marvin, talk to us. What do we got? We got The Edge, Volume 2. What's going on?
So Volume 2 is what the Kickstarter is for, but Volume 1 is available. So in Volume 1, we're introduced to our kind of villain, Revenant, who's on a rampage to eliminate his former boss, and the strike team, who you see in the picture, is put between them. In Reign of Chaos, the character Chaos forms his own team called the Reign, and he wants to get in front of what he thinks is going to happen with regular humans who want to come after these people who have powers. So he's going to strike first before they can strike at them. So again, the strike team is back in the middle of something that they had nothing to do with. So we've got all kind of fun things in there. We've got graded books. We got Wham stands. Is everybody into the Wham stands yet?
Talk about it, Marvin. Let us know.
Wham stand it's a stand for books that has a magnetic clip on the front, so you can stick a logo on there. The guy who does this, Moose, who's working on these, he's doing like prices, so you can put prices in front. All kind of neat stuff coming from the old Wham stands. You should get on those. They're cool.
Cool.
So that's, you got preview pages from issues 5 through 9. And we've unlocked issue 10, the Revenant minifigure. So our next, once we hit goal 4,000, it'll unlock a gatefold cover for issue number 7.
Nice. So your artist, you say you've been working with the same artist for the last how many years?
17.
17. All right. So where did you find this gentleman?
He's from the Philippines. I found him on digital webbing.
Okay. And how does he have enough patience to deal with you all these years?
We only deal with each other through the internet, so he doesn't have to deal with my personality.
Gotcha. I don't know which one of you is smarter.
It's a team effort, right?
Right. No, I got you. This looks cool.
Yeah, that is the exclusive cover for issue 10. Just in the Kickstarter. We unlocked the Trinity, I guess their chibi cover. That is going to be so now you'll be able to pick between the regular cover for issue 8 or this cover.
Nice. Then what's up with these Builder Brick things? These minifigs.
Yeah. So what was that about minifig?
No. What's the deal?
Oh, so that's unlocked now, so that you can have that as an add-on for I think $20. I put it down as. So it's a Revenant minifigure. We did a Blaine one a few years ago, so this time we're doing a Revenant one. We'll bring back the Blaine one next year, so that you can have Blaine punch Revenant in the face.
Gotcha.
Knock his block off. I guess you could knock his block off because this is a Lego figure. His head will fall off.
Right. Nice.
So then we're giving away a placemat of the character legend or character roster. And I just gave that away because they were cheap to print. And I just give them away for free with anyone who backed physically.
Gotcha. All right, cool. So, all right. I mean, this is issues what in this volume? 4 through 8?
Volume 2 is 5 through 9.
5 through 9.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
So we got trading cards. We've got game cards. All kinds of fun stuff for you people.
All right, nice. So you got 71 backers. You got 7 days left. You got 3,700 or 4,000. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have a problem. I think you're almost there. You'll probably get there in the next couple of days.
Yeah, we need 293. No, sorry, 298. 298.
298. Yep. All right, cool. Very nice.
Yeah, you make it, dude.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a problem with that.
Yeah.
All righty. Oh, there we go. All right, Jason. So this is your new website.
Yeah, Justin.
Oh, Justin. Excuse me.
The Kickstarter ends in about 60 minutes, and we've got 90% of the way to go. So it's not gonna close out. So I figured I might as well promote this. If you click there, you can get free samples of the comic. We've got 7 pages complete of Edge of Darkness, 6 pages for SWAT. You get both. On the blog, there's a bunch of scripts if anyone's crazy enough to want to read a script. And I can get you the Kickstarter here so you can see the stuff. Basically, it's far future, like millions of years into the future. It's might as well not be Earth, but it is. But it doesn't matter too much. And everyone lives deep underwater beneath the edge of darkness, which is the line in the sea where the light no longer penetrates. So they live in a bioluminescent deep sea world where basically it's all biological. So they grow like a giant squid suit. It's sort of like a spatchcock chicken. You curl up in it, it folds around you, and then you swim around and do stuff, and it keeps you alive. So basically, it's the art is amazing on it. If you want to play it, play it. It's not nearly as cool as the other ones, but.
Okay. It was short and sweet.
Yeah. I don't know how to do all that other stuff, so I'm trying to do it all on a budget. But Leonardo Romanelli is the artist. He's out of Italy, and I think he's done an amazing job with it. It's really great art. It's beautiful to look at, and especially in high def. So it's a really it's not a fun project. It's pretty heavy. It's heavy on the claustrophobia and depression at the start because it's sort of a metaphor for emerging from depression. But I think it's visually very interesting, and the story's also very good. It opens with that guy, the guy in the blue there. He's running around the bottom of the sea trying to bioluminesce so that the Kraken will come eat him. It's basically his suicide. Well, it just is. And then Jaimo, the hero, decides to lie and pretend it was an accident, so his dead friend his family gets the life insurance benefits, and that sort of kicks off a series of events where it goes from there. Ends up in kind of a international smuggling ring, et cetera, et cetera. So, these are all real creatures at one point. Basically, I took any cool sea creature from any point in history, made it as big as I wanted it to be, and just smashed them all together with complete disregard for history. So, there you go.
All right, cool. Now, I mean, obviously, it unfortunately won't make it this time around, but how many issues are you looking for this series?
It's going to be, I wrote 18. I've cut it down to 6. Just the real basic Jaimo story. We're going to come back in February. I think the problem, and by the way, thanks Marvin for, he's out. He backed it. But we'll be back in February with another marketing plan, basically, is what it comes down to. Because I think that's really the main issue. I don't think it's the art or the concept that's turning people off. It's just that I haven't figured out how to actually reach them yet, for the most part. So we're going to try to figure that out and sort of do a lot of pre-launch promotion so that it's ready to be successful out of the gate. So.
Gotcha. All right, cool. I mean, look, I really like the artwork. Like I said, I'm into this style. Like, I like different types of styles, and this is definitely like on the funkier side, but I really enjoy it. So I mean, you know.
He's. I look forward to a lot of the other crazy things he's going to end up having to do with this series. It's going to be very challenging for him, but all his creatures just are scary looking. Oh yeah. I got the shark as a tattoo.
Nice.
So it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a very strange setting. Basically, it's kind of a fascist theocracy, really, down there. They all live on the sponge, which is just sort of a floating giant sponge that's also got a lot of. I mean, basically, it's bone that they've hollowed out. They live inside. That's so thick that it can survive the pressure. So it's all very biological. That's why I call it biopunk. Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, listen, man, like you said, try again. Yeah.
No, I think when I talk to people about it, they get it. They seem to be excited about it. It's just I don't think I'm promoting it correctly or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. That's fair enough. Listen, you just got to keep working at it. That's all. Who did we lose? Oh, we lost Michael. All right.
Yeah, he said he had to run.
Oh, gotcha. All right, cool. All right. Marvin, you're up.
Up for...
Ask you a question.
I'm asking a question at 8:55?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
All right.
Ask a question. Man, you put me on the spot now. Now I got to think of something real quick.
Well, no. Hold on. Let's see. Jay, do you have a question ready? You're muted. We can't hear you.
No. Let Mark ask.
Go for it, Marv. You don't got anything. I gotta.
Yeah. So I mean, we can go back to the one that we were talking about before when we were asking about the selling the digital comic or giving it away for free or making it. Oh, excuse me. Like put it on Global Comics and giving away a code instead of giving people a PDF. But what makes the most sense for people if you're trying to if you're trying to use the PDF for marketing, are you willing to give it away their first issue for free, and then try to sell the second issue either physical or print?
my instinct would be to do kind of like how movies do, where it's in the theater, you get the most you can, and then you go to the secondary, sell the DVD, and then once it's kind of stale, that's when you start giving it away for promotional purposes. That's what I would do.
Nice.
You know.
Fair enough. Jay, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking about a convention, right? How do you give away a free PDF at a convention? Hey, stop at my booth so I can give you a free digital transfer, or stop at the booth.
Well, I mean, you kind of do that when you have them sign up for your mailing list, right?
Right, but then I got to read it right then and there. Whereas a physical copy, if you're doing offset printing, I know Calderon loves that word, is a lot more attention grabbing, right? I'm looking at it purely from the perspective of a convention, right? What are we doing to try to grab their interest right there? If we're only doing digital, do we have a booth set up with a bunch of iPads on a bunch of stands and let them look through it? Right? How do you complete the sale? How do you make the transaction? How do you get them to walk away with something?
In all honesty, if I was paying for a table, travel, and expenses, I wouldn't be peddling digital comics at a show anyway, because you're not selling those at full price, right? So your chances of making money during that weekend are going to go down to almost zero.
I'm looking at the videos that you guys are making, and I'm like, man, you bring a tablet and you put those videos right on the table.
Oh yeah,
as an attention grabber, right? Playing that in
a
cycle.
That yelling and screaming got a lot of attention at the table, because it was louder than anything else going around.
But you do that, you have an acrylic stand with you know, whatever, a promo flyer with the QR code, and you get people to scan to get the digital, which they're being attracted by the video, but you're still trying to complete the sale of the physical product. That's how I'm looking at it. Sorry.
Yeah. There's no sorries.
Jason, what are your thoughts?
So I'm trying to think of more original stuff to say about this, and so when I'm not making comics, I work in the commercial heating and cooling industry. And I think comic books remind me a lot of oil furnaces, because oil furnaces still exist. It's a market that's under contraction, but I think it's probably got another 30 years of legs in it. I sell the heck out of oil furnaces because where I live, and I've had people say, why aren't you selling more high-tech options to people? And I'm like, because for the oil furnace market, they don't care. It's cabins, it's rural people, whatever. Like, we're not going to sell them, you know, high-tech inverter systems or geothermal. They're going to buy oil furnaces. And I think comic book fans, and again, I feel like this is a good peer group for me here, because these are people that are like, I like comics, I like paper, I like print. And I think there's a question of how much bandwidth each of us has to do comics. And I think I just keep coming back to, I'll do digital if it's like no extra work. But when it just starts to become like, well, now I got to, you know, have it downloaded to show and everything else, like, can it be made easy to do? And is it even worth the time to do it, even if it's not a lot? And I think we all have to be very aware of what our energy and time is to do this. Right. And then also, you know, are we chasing this digital? It's almost like a will-o'-the-wisp, like, oh, it'll work. It's like, but none of us can point to anyone that it's really worked for. And I sent you guys that link for Madefire. And I remember I talked to one really high-profile comic book guy that was like really invested in it. And man, Jason, it'll be the biggest thing ever. And then the whole thing went bankrupt and pissed people off. So I just, like I said, I don't want to poo-poo it. I rarely buy comics digitally. I just bought a Pat Mills comic on PDF because I don't think he even has it as physical yet. His new collected edition of Requiem, and I still need to read it. But I very rarely myself want to read comics as PDFs. So like I said, I just would caution everyone to not waste too much energy chasing this, because maybe we're dinosaurs and maybe there's not going to be a whole lot more of us, but we're still going to be around for a while, and there's still fans that are going to be around for years. And I just don't think our fans are going to be the ones that are into NFTs, digital stuff. And unless it's really simple, I'm not going to waste my time on it. I just don't think there's a payoff for it. I think our customers and our readers are going to get more into things like variant covers, original artwork, behind the scenes stuff, sketches, sketch covers. That's what they want.
I mean, and you kind of lose that in the digital format too, because like, what does it matter if you have a different cover for a digital book?
When I do my digitals, I put all here's all the variants for the book. So you just flip through all of them. It's a different format. So I mean, it's not as special.
So there's RJ.
RJ, what's up, kid?
RJ, what's up? Listen, I mean, there's blockchain is still out there. No, I'm only joking. Go ahead. Dan, what are your thoughts on it?
Oh, I mean, you go to say a conference or whatever, don't just put a QR code on the table for your promo stuff. Do you have to show the entire comic? No, you give them what they want, and then hey, if you like this, go buy it.
Yeah,
I've been doing sales, for forever. How can you get the most bang for your buck? What stream is going to do it? If web comics can draw them to a printed comic, and that's going to make you the most money, wonderful. It's out there. Like you said, I don't want to put out a whole lot of extra energy to do something that is going to take my time, my energy, plus my full-time job. These comics, these are, I hate to say it, but it's a hobby for most of us. I mean, it helps when we make some money off of it, but I could ask every one of you, how much have you invested into comics? And does it balance out?
You're asking a dangerous question with my wife, buddy.
Right.
Bringing up things like that, dude.
Yeah, right. I mean, I was in banking for like 10 years, and believe me, I understand what these hobbies look like on the balance sheets. So again, if we can market in a way that, I could put out a digital copy, I can make a little bit of money. Whether that's I've heard subscriptions, I've heard pay for the one-time thing. I mean, you're right. If I do variant covers, I've got 4 variant covers. If it's digital, nobody cares. I've got stuff from my daughter did a whole chibi set for me. It's awesome, looks great. But again, stuff like that, it doesn't matter if it's chibis or manga or cartoons. That stuff doesn't make me a whole lot of money if it's going to be digital. Somebody has a card or a comic or a poster in hand, that makes a little bit of money. So figuring out a way to make those other streams actually run back to you and get you some money, that's the challenge, right?
Fair enough. Randy, what are your thoughts?
I don't think you should give anything away for free unless you have to, unless you need to. I do believe in certain discounts or for example, you've got somebody that's ordering some comics to slide them 1 or 2 additional comics in just because that they're going to sit there, read them and enjoy them and like it, maybe with a PDF file, maybe slide a couple of a short story or a few extra pages in depending, but don't undersell yourself. You should always have some sort of value to your file. That's the way I think of it.
Right,
but there has to be a way to get cheap comics out to the masses. So there needs to be a way found, whether it's by newsprint, newspapers, or because I tried a comic paper that I thought was pretty successful for about 10 years that we gave away and was advertiser supported, that I would go back to do again if I thought I could make money at it. But there's a thin line, right? And now, especially with the silly paper costs jacked up, there really has to be another way to go out there and reach an audience inexpensively, or at least in a format that they're going to want to read you from. So I don't think it's quite there yet.
Yeah.
So, and that includes digital and physical. There has to be something else out there.
Yeah. Daphne and I, for years, we've been giving away a couple of issues I give away the first issue of Oswald Chronicles. She gives away we also give away the first issue of Tall Tales. But we can do that because we have like 30 issues. Like, you know, if you read the one and we hook you, we got you. You know,
technically though, you're not giving that away. You're planting seeds.
Yes, that's exactly what that is.
It's almost the same as an advertising cost or an advertisement in a book. You're going to get a certain percentage of people that are actually going to sit there and read it and get hooked on it.
Yep.
You know,
and that's exactly what it's for. And we get the email for our newsletter, so we're going to have that direct contact with that customer, and that's
the cost of that product is going to be distributed by the rest of the sale. So
yeah.
Exactly. And the thing is I'm already in the black on those books. Like, I've already made my money back on those books a bunch of times. So, you know, that's always a good thing. So, all right. And we lost Marvin. I don't know where he was. He doesn't get to answer his own question. All right. So, look, I'm going to ask you guys a question. We're all collectors here, right? I can't imagine there's not a single person here that's not a collector on some level, right? So we're all collectors. So I'm going to give you guys a softball one. What's your grail? What's that one thing you're trying to hunt that you've been hunting for years, and you're like, you've gotten close, but you're just like stalking it, you know, and you just haven't made up your mind to get it just yet, because you know how it is. So because usually expensive, right? Or it's just hard to find. You know?
How dare you ask that question when my wife is watching? I almost got in trouble with Dan asking it.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
So yeah. So I mean, so what is that grail item?
See, she chimed in. Damn it.
All right. So actually,
don't say it.
Don't say it. So let's start with Dan. Dan, what's that grail item you like? You've been like just fiending to get, but you haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, or you haven't found it yet?
You know, it's something. My kids, I like playing Legos with them, and custom character, and I have. This is my Chevy, but this is not the one I want. I want the big Hulk form. I want the one big Buster sword, not a little tiny sword. You know, I'm looking for my Lego piece that I can get built up, and really, I mean, that's like a goal of mine, to do all my characters as Lego pieces. I'm sorry, man. Hey, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. No grail. He doesn't have a grail. He only makes money on his comics.
Dan,
he
I'm
only makes money
on the couch because of you, dude. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, trust me, he has a grill. Trust me. Jason, what are your thoughts? What is that item you're looking for your collection?
Well, the only thing that really comes to mind is
where's it? Justin, I'm sorry.
It's fine. My mom's called me Jason. My grandmother's called me Jason.
No. But Jason's above you and he's muted. That's why we can't hear Jason.
Oh, okay.
No, let Justin go. I'll go next.
I don't have a good answer. You should go.
So most of what I've been seriously collecting for the last 10 years has been anime. And I'm a big physical anime collector. And what's actually kind of gone haywire is a lot of the things that were kind of the, you know, how do you get this? They've all been getting re-released on Blu-ray from a couple boutique companies that are picking up licenses. So there was a whole bunch like Midnight Eye Goku that, for example, has been re-released. Memories just got a massive re-release. So I was actually scoping out an anime from Mamoru Oshii the other day called Angel's Egg. And I reached out to a couple bootleggers that I know, and they were like, why don't you go to eBay for that? So I'm eyeballing a couple $60 and $70 Blu-rays of that. So I don't really have like the really high end, you know, even the bold, you know, 54, right, or anything like that.
Yeah,
like most of the stuff that I want is probably available with some hunting, or we build digital copies. Like there was a French-Japanese cartoon called Dragon's Heaven that I traded a bootlegger in Toronto to burn a laser disc to a DVD, and then I made my own package art for a case. Nice. In my mind, like there is no commercially available release on it on anything with DVD or Blu-ray. So in my mind, I have it. So there's still more, but like I said, the next one on my list to get is Angel's Egg, which is an anime from 1986. So that's my weird rabbit hole that I've been floating down.
Right. Let me know if you ever run across, because I've been looking for a good copy of Lensman.
So Lensman is held up in a bankruptcy from Streamline from 1990 or 89, and my Toronto bootlegger guy got me a pretty decent copy years ago with packaging, but it was all bootleg burned from Laserdisc. But Lensman is still held up in some kind of litigation hell. And my guess is at some point, Discotheque Media will probably get the rights to it and then do like some bang out super deluxe edition. But that's one that was in the original era from like Suncoast Video and that, where it was like Streamline had like Akira and Lensman and a couple others. And for some reason, Lensman has just died on the vine. But I will keep that in mind for you.
Yeah, because I have a VHS copy that is dubbed.
Yeah,
dubbed. I have a
That's
VHS.
what I got. Yeah, I got the same thing.
And so what's been happening is in the last 5 or 6 years, must have been some legal shifts, because Discotheque Media, they're the main people doing it, where they're getting the rights to these things and doing these amazing re-releases. Like they just redid Project ACO as like a deluxe Blu-ray release. So if you're into collecting that stuff, like, check out Discotheque Media. But I will keep my eyes open for Lensman for you guys.
All right, yeah. And another one is Outlanders.
I don't know this. I know what that is. I never collected it. I don't know where that's at. I'll have to find out and let you know.
All right, cool. Yeah. It's always fun running into somebody who knows way more about the subject than I do.
Well,
like I said, I watched it when I was, when it was first coming out, but I never kept up.
So Gunbuster just got re-released by Discotheque Media, and that's an amazing Blu-ray release. I'll put it in the chat. Their company website. They are the people for these like high-end Blu-ray re-releases. If you're into any of this stuff, I suggest you check them out. But I'm gonna go take a look into Lensman right now. You got me thinking about it.
All right, cool. Justin, what is your Grail item, if you have?
Well, it's not that much for Grail, but there's what got me into comics again recently was Harrow County. So I have all of the library editions that are signed by Cullen Bunn. But they just came out with like $150 one volume edition that is like super badass. But it's $150 for a bunch of books I already own.
Right.
So that's I don't know. It's either that or obscure vinyl that you don't want to hear about. So there you go.
Gotcha. Now, what was the name of the book?
Harrow County by Cullen Bunn. It's really good. You should check it out sometime.
Well, because I collected the Sixth Gun.
Yeah.
Right, which I really enjoyed. And then there was the one he did with the demons. That was really interesting.
That could be any number of things, I think.
It was from Oni as well. Same artist, I think, as Sixth Gun. They're doing a re-release on it. So yeah. All right. Well, let's move over to Mr. J. Jay, what's that Grail? Huh?
I'm a big toy collector. I'm an 80s kid, and the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, the USS Flag, has been the Grail. But forget about not being able to afford it right now, because a complete piece in the box, we're looking at close to 5 figures right now. I got no space. I got no fucking space. Plain and simple. But one thing that I'm scared to open the door for, and it's not a Grail as much as it is a collection. I was thinking about getting all the books that were released the month I was born, publication date. Yeah, that's a pricey thing. I mean, we're talking about X-Men number 9.
You were born what, in 1942?
Oh. Here's my one toy.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Nice. This is not even 2% of what I got. But yeah, no, I'm thinking about that. The stuff from 1975 and it's just like that's not a door I should open up. You know,
Yeah, that's expensive. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a pricey door.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think books were still what, a quarter at the time, or were they 12 cents? I don't even remember.
I don't know what was
20
it. 25 cents. Yeah,
25 cents. Yeah.
yeah. I got it prepped. As a just in case. You know, the last day of New York Comic Con, everything goes up on major discounts. So, you know, there's always an opportunity. We already identified which are the most expensive ones.
Gotcha. Nice. Randy, what's that grail item?
Well, I've been digging up books from my youth. I found this like maybe 2 years ago, Batman Annual, giant size Batman Annual. This is the comic I had my ass whooped for sneaking into the house when I couldn't have superhero comics.
Wow.
So I had to go back and buy this. I got the Twilight Zone digest that my mom had me burn, that had a story in it that has a guy making a deal with the devil. She made a deal with me that if I burned that digest, I could buy superhero comics. So I burned the digest. I got another copy of that. And then the other book that I'm really looking for now is an Uncle Scrooge book. It's got a Christmas cover on it of Uncle Scrooge as a dressed as Santa Claus with a vault, and I don't remember what number it was, but it has a Barks story in it called The 24-Karat Moon. And I read that book when I was a kid. I got the Disney Digest that I originally read it in, but I want that Uncle Scrooge book because that story means a lot to me, because it really opened my mind up for how powerful comics were. When I was a kid, I just ate that story up, and it was it's so had such an imprint on me that back in the 80s, I did Tales from the Aniverse. It's really the inspiration for Tales from the Aniverse. And I would love to have a copy of that, the original Uncle Scrooge that story was in. I will have it eventually. So it's just a matter of finding it. I couldn't even tell you what Uncle Scrooge number it is right now because I'm brain farting. So I know it's an Uncle Scrooge book, though.
Very nice. So Jason, show off that bike, Kaneda's bike.
This is the Kaneda bike.
There you go, from Akira.
And then I have two Akira action figures. I have Kaneda and Tetsuo's big Barbie size action figures, which is weird. Like there's very little Akira stuff, but I'm all for it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That looks great. Yeah.
This thing can hook into your sound system and play sound effects from the bike from the movie. It like lights up. Yeah,
that's cool.
Good for you.
It's pretty rad. It's a pretty rad toy. I won't tell Crystal how much we paid for it. She's like, "How much did that cost?" I'm like, "Just don't touch it."
Not enough.
Was that an import or was that released here in the States?
I got it from a store in a store in New York City that got it as an import from Japan from Bandai.
Yeah, that was expensive.
Was the place that you got it on 29th Street between?
I don't
8th
remember.
And 7th?
Could be. I don't remember.
Was there a police precinct across the street that looked like a fort?
Oh no, it was a mail order from that store. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, they were my middleman, Jay.
Yeah, no, I get it, dude. Because if that was the place I used to get Gundam kits from, and I was doing Gundam kits.
It probably is the same place. Like they have their stash.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy. Nice.
That is.
Nice. For me, it's funny. Thankfully, I don't think I have anything that I really want anymore. But the last thing that I got that was my grail item was a mini bust of the Hammer, which is a character that was created by Kelly Jones. There's a comic book he did, I guess in the 90s. And
didn't that tie into Nexus?
No.
The
Hammer?
Right.
No, you're thinking, there is a character called Hammer. It's a completely different character. Yeah.
All right.
This was Kelly Jones. It was like macabre horror, and the guy had like this huge alien connected to the back of his head. It was crazy. He carried this dagger, and he was murdering demons. It was a lot of fun. So. That's awesome.
He's happy. Fucking go with it, brother.
Yeah.
Go with it.
Yeah, I found the on button and started turning on the sound effects.
There you go.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah. Very disruptive on a group chat. I'll turn the bike off. But
no, that's okay. But
Well, I have a TARDIS cookie jar that makes noise, but it's not nearly as cool as that bike.
Oh.
Yeah. That's really good. All right, Jay, you got the last of it, bro.
All right, okay. I'll go for the quicker of the two questions I've developed. But what was the one book that got you in hooked on comics? Randy, you said it, so you get to make a.
Well, it was a Walt Disney Comics Digest. You had Pinocchio on the cover.
Okay,
it's really thick, like 200 pages thick. I love those old digests, but that got me into comics and got me into oddball formats and all sorts of stuff. But it had 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea story in it. It had that Donald Duck story in it. It was just a great digest to have. My dad got it for me when I was 6, just as he was getting groceries. He saw that digest there and just bought it to me to keep me quiet, I guess. So at home. But yeah, that was the book for me.
Okay. All right. Justin, what was the one book that got you in on this?
Sandman, I think it would be safe to say, was my first obsession with comics. I mean, part of it was, for a long time, I thought that was like the only graphic novel that was like it at all. You know, the selection at Walden Books in 1998 was about this much. You know.
Oh yeah.
So
Walden Books.
I was a Walden Books boy. There was a B. Dalton on the other side of the mall, but I didn't like it as much. Yeah, so that was that. Calvin and Hobbes was one I really loved. I mean, that was kind of the end of the newspaper comic page, in my opinion, was the day Calvin and Hobbes ended. Because everything, I mean, it was it was mostly shit beforehand, but it's been
major shit ever since. Yeah. There's still an occasional little flash here and there, but most of them are
it's irritating. I have a lot of opinions about the newspaper to this day. I don't know if you guys know the website joshreads.com, but it's this guy who reads the newspaper comic page and just shits on it, and it's awesome. So I have a lot of opinions about Funky Winkerbean. I still have current opinions about oh God, what's the Mary Worth? Yeah. So I don't know. I've been in and out of comics for a long time. I guess the newspaper comic page was the earliest thing I read constantly. Those Archie comic omnibuses they had at the wire rack. And then Sandman. Yeah.
So which Sandman arc did you start with? Or did you start from the very beginning?
I think I got Preludes and Nocturnes first. I mean, it was definitely mostly. I don't think it was entirely done yet, but it was. I came in at like the second to last season, basically. I think it was pretty much wrapped up. The difference in art between the first one and the last one, you know, just in terms of the printing technology, is pretty remarkable. Yeah, but no, I really like Sandman. I like it so much that I'll even say it, even though Neil Gaiman's apparently a perv now. So.
Yeah. Well, you know,
it shouldn't affect your nostalgia for that for a great property. And there were a lot of other people than Gaiman that worked on that book. So.
Yeah.
Too true. Jason, what are your thoughts? What's
I have two comics that I would single out. One, 1982 Epix Comics Grew the Wanderer issue 2 that I got at Walden's Books in Lancaster County. And I think that book is standout. It was really good art, really good story, and really funny. And Sergio Aragonés, I don't know that he ever got as much run as he should have for just being an incredibly talented comic strip artist that transferred over to comic books. I think that issue is great. I'm glad I stumbled into it. I have a full run of all the Grew the Wanderer comics, all slabbed and boarded in a long box. And the other comic book that I will single out for being a huge influence to me is March 1989 issue of Heavy Metal Magazine. That was the first issue of Heavy Metal that I read, and that is actually a really good issue to grab. Front to back, I think it has 8 stories in it, and it's headlined by a standalone 50-page fully watercolored comic by Juan Jimenez called Leo Roa.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a badass issue. And like I said, out of all the comic books I've read, like the two that really stick out to me for like really influencing me are those two, Gru the Wanderer 2 and March 89 Heavy Metal.
Cool. For myself, it'd be really early on. It'd be like an early Thor. I think it was like 292, written by Roy Thomas. It's he did Thor in the story of the Ring of the Nibelung, and that was leading up to issue 300. And it was about an 8-issue run that led into issue 300. And I remember really enjoying that run. You know, it was Frank Miller that showed me something different, but that's probably the series and book that really hooked me was that. So it was a lot of fun. So Jay, what hooked you?
So the one that I used to run around with, that was the beater copy that went with me everywhere. It was a DC Showcase Annual number 3. Roy Thomas. That's why I laughed when you mentioned his name. I don't know if the cover was illustrated by Gil Kane or Kurt Swan. It has Superman, Shazam, and Dr. Savannah. Dr. Savannah stole the powers of Shazam, so he had a green Shazam costume on. And that's the one that went with me everywhere. So that's where everything started. But the first book I got in a comic shop was an X Factor, illustrated by Art Adams. I don't know if it was 40 or 41 or 30 and 30 or 39 and 40.
The one with the trolls?
The one with the trolls. It was actually a contest winner. Who a created character Marvel thing. But that's the first one I picked up in a comic shop. And that's the one that got me hooked. I'm like, there are stores just for comics. I didn't have to go to the Walden Books or the B. Daltons or the corner shop, right? Or the bodega, the racks.
Yeah.
There was a shop just for comics. And it was an old fat dude with cigarettes and an ashtray and just that tin can that you see in flea markets, not even a full register, right? And he had a deli showcase, not a flat jewelry showcase for the comics there. And it was just like, man, I was fucking hooked. You know, I that was it. That was the moment for me. You know, there were kids going into vans for ice cream or candy. If there was a comic book van, I would be gone.
So, what borough?
It was in Brooklyn. It was in Brooklyn. It was on Coney Island Avenue in East Flatbush. And funny enough, it was not far from the Kent movie theater where I first saw. I later ended up seeing Batman 89 on opening night at 1:00 in the morning.
Geek.
Super geek, kid. Super geek. But we're all geeks, right? It's in our blood, man. We're doing this because we love it. We're not doing it to get rich.
Yeah.
You know?
I saw it at 11 o'clock at night, so it's okay.
Yeah, no, I was with my cousins, and it was just like it was the greatest thing. I was up past 11 o'clock on a Friday. What?
Yeah.
With tons of people online, and it's just like, there's other people who like this stuff. I thought it was just me, right?
All right, cool, gentlemen. Listen, we made it to hour 2. Thank you so much. This was awesome. This is Jay. Where can they find you and your work, sir?
UnstoppableComics.com. You can find all my social media links on the website, UnstoppableComics.com.
All right, cool. Justin, where can they find you and your work, sir? You muted.
Justin, you're muted. Yeah.
Coke Comics, COKE Comics.com. They'll have scripts. There's free comics. There's should be links to all my socials on there. Maybe not. I made the website 2 days ago. Yeah.
All right.
I'm on Facebook too. That's worth.
Where can they find you and your work, sir?
So my website is just jasonlennox.com, and then the easiest way to find me outside of that is to hit at Lennox Artist on Twitter or Instagram, and then I'm Jason Lennox Illustrator. This is my art page on Facebook, and if you're feeling really risky, you can just become my friend on Facebook, and then you can watch me post up Memes most of the time. Good stuff. JD's my friend. He sees geese and jokes and memes and
all
boy
that.
stuff, right?
You need to put up that bike.
Yeah, you do.
Well, you know
Take
what?
a shot
I
of
put
it.
a picture of this up when I got it, and I lit it up, and my friend was like, "Dude," he goes, "How much did that cost?" And like, he thought it was a real bike.
Mm.
Like the picture was like dark, so I had the lights on. He thought it was like the bike, you know. Like,
That's cool.
Which I did find a maniac on Instagram that is building real bikes like this.
Mhm.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
So that's a whole nother level. But yeah, no, I had a whole photo thing about this when I got it a couple years ago on Facebook. People were like, "Ooh, look at that! Look at
It's
your
supposed
bike."
to be a live action movie in the works, isn't there?
I hope they never make it.
Yeah, me too.
I hope they never make it.
It'll definitely won't be the same.
Yeah.
No.
The way I look at it is the anime and the manga are always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I can just ignore that other thing, you know.
100%.
Even though I'll go see it, but you know, if it's trash, I can just ignore it and just go back to the originals.
Oh, amen. Yeah.
Yep. So, Randy, where can they find your work?
If you want to reach me directly, you can find me on Facebook. That's where I usually hang out. I do have an X account, but I'm hardly ever over there. For my work, you can find it over at aerocomics.store, where there's a lot of different products that I've done over there. Like, you can find the Shadow Kingdom book there. You can find like The Fool and Paragon, Calico, Herobot Zero over there. A lot of different things. I love to write a lot of different things. Also, I do 2 podcasts every weekend, one Friday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern time. That's Comics by Night, where we look at some the best of the best in sequential art, and Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. Sunday mornings. You find it at the Indy Comics Network, Comic Book Black Belt YouTube channel, and the Randy Zim YouTube channel. So go over there and take a look. We've covered a wide variety of just classic sequential art by the best of the best. And it's really a mutual love showing off of the stuff that inspires us and keeps us doing what we're doing. So go over there and take a look.
Cool. I'm JD Calderon. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, DeviantArt, all those different places. Under my name, theoswaldchronicles.com, 12talesonline.com. Starting next Friday, I will be back on Kickstarter with theoswaldchronicles.com because you can't keep a good mouse down. And just remember, everybody, go check out those links. Go check out those show notes. It has everybody's links to their campaign. So you can click on those links and buy those books. All the creators here were awesome. All of them are doing great books. They all deserve your support. So please click on those links, pick up some books, and just remember, everybody, read more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
everybody.
See you.